Welcome to MMT Chats. This episode is brought to you by ISCAR with new ideas for machining intelligently. Hey MMT followers, Christina Fuges back with another 5 in 5 MMT chat. That's 5 best practices in 5 minutes on ways to improve efficiencies. My guest today is Rick Seberg, who is an engineering manager for Medline Industries out of Northfield, Illinois, and he's also one of MoldMaking Technology's newer editorial advisory board members. Hello, Rick.
How you doing, Christine?
Good. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Number one, that's right, lightning round. Number one, how do you create and maintain an employee-centered culture?
Well, I think the most important thing is, first of all, it has to be driven from the top down. If your management doesn't buy into it and support it, it's not going to go anywhere. And I think the other thing about that is, I think it has to be, and we were talking previously, it has to be, I think, based in training, right? You've just really got to invest in your employees from a training standpoint. And I think from my perspective, as an employee, when a company allows me to, train, I feel like they're investing in me.
Yes.
Years and years ago, I worked at a company and we had a training session, and the trainer gave the story, the quote that said, the owner of the company was saying, "Why should I train people? They might leave." And the trainer said, "Well, why shouldn't you train them? They might stay."
Yeah, exactly. I love that quote. That's a good one.
So.
All right, number two, what are your top 3 best technology investments and why?
So that was a little hard. I only came up with 2.
Okay.
So I've got 2. One, I think, is a good ERP system. You need to know, what you're doing, how much it's costing you, how much time it's taking you. You've got to be able to measure what you're doing. One thing I think I've learned over time is, data is king.
Oh, yes.
I was just talking with a tool shop that I do business with, and he was telling me a story where they bid on a job. They built a mold several years ago, and so they built it and they lost money on it. And the customer came back recently and they wanted a duplicate mold. So they pulled up all their records and they said, "Okay, here's what we bid, here's what we lost money, here's what it actually cost us." So they gave a new price at the new the new cost, and he's like, "And we still lost money on it." And so we had a conversation. I'm like, "Well, so you knew, it's going to take you, 100 hours of EDM time,
right?"
Did you tell your EDM guy, like, "Hey, here's our target. We've got to do this in 100 hours or less." When your guys are clocking in and out on a job, are they really, monitoring their time, or are they just clocking in and out when they think about it? So I think you got to have that good system. You've got to collect data. Yeah. And you've got to react to the data. My other one was, again, from my mold maintenance interest background, a ultrasonic cleaning system.
Nice.
I think is very important. You want to standardize what you're doing, how you're doing it. It reduces your labor for mold maintenance. Mold maintenance is always the forgotten, stepchild in
yes, it is.
Manufacturing. And one way that you can, really improve that is if you can get it done quickly at a lower cost. So we're looking at investing in that here at Medline.
Okay. Great.
I've done it at other places, and I think it's a huge opportunity.
Awesome. All right. Number 3, your latest, or maybe not your personal latest, but what is a good process improvement? Not technology, process.
Yeah, so the process improvement, again, so one of the very first things I did here when I got to Medline was implement the mold maintenance practices, again, that we were talking about.
Yep.
They really didn't have any standardization. They weren't following any kind of schedule. We had a work order system, but we weren't utilizing it. So I spent the first 3 months writing PM procedures for the molds,
Oh, wow.
updating the work order system so that we start using it, and reinforcing on the floor to again exercise that work order system. So
Yep. That's a good one.
Just getting that PM system up and running,
Yep.
I think again is huge.
It is huge. And you're right. It's the often forgotten step in the process. That's why our tagline is engineer, build, maintain, because you can't forget that maintenance, right? Number 4, how do you measure success?
So currently our measurements for success are PM completions, completed versus scheduled, OEE, how are we contributing, tooling related downtime versus, how it impacts OEE. And then the third one is right now just tracking our repair costs.
Okay.
So again, we, it's like, I don't say we don't really have a tooling repair budget. It's just we buy it as we need it.
Okay.
And so again, if you're not tracking it, if you're not using your data, you just, so we just, we need another cylinder. Okay, buy another cylinder.
Yeah.
And again, I came in, I'm like, why are we buying so many cylinders? It's like, so, it's like just, so we're tracking costs, trying to reduce our costs. And by reducing our costs, we're actually getting down to the root cause of problems versus just replacing something.
Perfect. All right. You're doing great. Number 5, last but not least, how do you recommend taking advantage of new business opportunities?
So I didn't answer that. Because where I'm at with Medline, it's like, I'm not really in that situation, that position. So
that's fine. That's good. Then you were 4 and 4, we'll say. And you are the maintenance king. I like that you're the champion for maintenance, which I think MoldMaking Technology is also. Do you know Steve Johnson over at Mold Tracks?
Steve, I consider him my mentor. That's where I was, that's where I got into it. I took a seminar from him like in 1993. And I've been following his stuff ever since religiously.
Yeah, he is. It's incredible. It's something that when we started the magazine, I was one of those that never really thought about that part of the process too, until you start realizing the money that can be saved and made if you just maintain your mold. And it's simple things sometimes. Not to say there's not technology involved, because there's a lot of cool technology on that side too to help with that. So, all right, enough said. That's 5 and 5. Thank you, Rick, for your time. Everybody out there listening, go to moldmakingtechnology.com for everything mold making, and stay informed and stay inspired.